What's up everybody, my name is Branzy and today I wanted to show you a design that I've been playing with for a fungus farm that will allow us to farm both the warped and the crimson at the same time. So let's see this thing in action. So if I flip this switch, the water goes away and we can see we're getting both the crimson over here and the warped over here. And when we flip the switch again, it all gets washed straight into the hoppers and into the double chest. And as you can see, it works pretty well. It is based off of a bone meal concept. So this farm is actually based off of a couple designs, one by Il Mango for a fungus farm and another by K Mund as well for a flower farm. So I'll be sure to link those in the description. And this farm just kind of takes both of those concepts and combines them. So yeah, this is a pretty simple farm, nothing too crazy complicated about it. Let me show you everything that you need in order to build it. Okay, so to start building this thing, let's start with the redstone. The first thing that you're going to want to do is just go ahead and make an 8 by 13 square wherever you want your farm to be. So for me, if I build it right here, we'd go like this. Okay, now that you have your 13 by 8 area, we can start adding in the redstone components to it. This is pretty simplistic, but we'll go over it really quick. So you're going to need to first, on this front corner here, the front right corner, you're going to want to put a repeater with a 1 tick delay, meaning that there is in its default state, and then come over to this corner here and do the same exact thing. On the back 2 corners here, you're going to put a repeater with a 2 tick delay. So that's a place and then a 1 tick right there, so it's 2 ticks. And then for the redstone, let's skip this block here for now, and then we'll just add redstone to fill in all the empty spaces here. Okay, now that the redstone is all placed there, let's go ahead and add the 2 branches for the dispensers to come off of. So this one on this side over here is going to be 3 away from the repeater, as in right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have 3 out. And then over here, we're going to have 2. So it'll be 1, 2, and then right here, 3 out. And then we're just going to take some redstone here. We're going to take a repeater here, repeat the same thing on this side here and here. And then we can take another building block here and there. And then we'll take our 2 dispensers, place them facing straight up, just like that. And there's the dispenser and the clock pretty much done. Okay, so now let's get into the piston aspect of this build. So it's going to be 5 pistons on each side. So we're going to go from the corner, that's corner, skip 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we should have 1 corner left there. Notice the redstone is pointing straight up and observing the redstone below it. And then just repeat the same thing on this side in the exact same spots, leaving the front corner and an empty space before your first observers. And from there, we're just going to come in here and put a piston on each of the observers, just like that. And now we can work on the on-off mechanism for this farm. It's pretty simplistic. Basically what we're going to do is we'll put a temporary block here, and then we'll put a permanent block there. We'll put 2 more temporary blocks, break this guy, and then we'll grab our sticky piston like that, and he'll sit right there. So the end result that we should have if we remove the 2 temporary blocks is a piston that when it extends will complete this chain here. And this is how we're going to get the chain started, right? So we're going to put an observer right into this guy like that. So he's observing a change in that block there. And then we're going to put a full block accepting the redstone signal from there, which is going to push it down into this block here. And then we should be able to see this thing work at this point. So let's get our lever and just test it out. And it seems to work just fine. So let's turn that back off again. Okay, so now that we have the redstone working, let's start working on the platform. So the platform is pretty simplistic. We're just going to go right off of these pistons here with dirt here, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. Do that again. And then on this row here, we'll go 1, 2, and then we'll place either the crimson or the warped nylium of your choice. 1, 2 there. And then we'll just complete this whole chain again and again and again and again, right? So now we are to this point here, and we want to go 1, 2, and the other alternative nylium block that you haven't used yet, or if you want both, go for that. And then we just put these two there to finish that row off. Put the last 2 rows in, and what you'll notice is that you have this empty gap here, and that's exactly what you want. And you also want to see that the nylium blocks are not on top of the dispensers, right? We want these to be shifted one off place for right now. Okay, so now that we have the platform in place and the redstone all done, let's go ahead and get the collection system in. First step of that is going to be putting the hoppers down. So we're gonna just put 2 hoppers going into a double chest here and line the front of this dirt with hoppers just like this, okay? So now that we have that, we need to put the water in. So the water is going to flow in this state where it's at and it's off. Okay, so let's put a block right here, and then we'll just drag this straight back and right past the hopper. So that should be 6 long at this point, and we'll go an additional 2 back, and this is where the water's going to live. So we'll go all the way to the end here, and then right on top of this piston, and all the way to the end of this hopper here. Okay, so that should be enough to keep the water out from spilling over the sides. And on the bottom here, we'll just line this back row of where the dirt is with another layer of building blocks. So now we have all that taken care of. Let's implement our trap doors. Make sure that you're facing this direction, and then I just place them all down like this. You don't have to open them yet. It'll all be taken care of later on, but I like to do it so I can place my water in as I go. So let's go ahead and get that, and then that. So now that that is all filled up with water, we can add this front chain here. And I'm going to use glass for mine just because I think it looks a little bit fancier. But when we get to this guy here, this does need to be a solid block. So for aesthetic's sake, I'm going to change that one as well. And let's just go ahead while we're at it, and let's put a piece of redstone right here. And this is going to be how we turn the farm on. Is we're going to put a torch, we're going to put a lever right here. And when we press that, the farm will start to shift back and forth. So now we need to hook it up so that when the farm is off, that the trapdoors here are open and the water's flowing, so that we can make sure to grab all the goodies, right? The tricky thing with this is to make sure that when you're doing this part, that you go up an additional level to this point right here at least, so that you're not activating these pistons by mistake. So I like to go to that right there just to make absolutely sure. So we're just going to run redstone all the way to our lever. And we're going to run redstone all the way through here. And this is actually about a 19 long chain, which redstone does not travel 19 blocks, unfortunately. So we need to make sure that we also put in our last repeater somewhere right about here. And it should be all fine and dandy. Let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so there's that. And when we turn it off, the water flows right into the hoppers. It's beautiful. Now, what I like to do to make sure that none of the drops get bounced out or anything is just cover the top here in glass. Okay, so at this point, the farm is pretty much done. I went ahead and put a stack of bone meal in each of these dispensers here. So let's turn the farm on and let it go and see how much we get from that. Okay, so the farm is all out of bone meal. I went ahead and turned it off, and everything seems to have made its way into the chest. Let's see how much we got. So that is about 3/4 of a stack of crimson and 3/4 of a stack of the warped fungus types. We have a bunch of the sprouts and roots and stuff like that. It's a lot of drops from that in a short amount of time. That took about a minute maybe to get all that stuff. So yeah, a pretty simple farm, not anything too crazy, complicated. Like I said, there's a couple videos that I'll link in the description that were very inspirational to this design. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to let me know down below. You know what to do. Drop a like on it, drop a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe if you guys want to see more of this, or check out builds that we'll be doing like this in our Let's Play and things like that. So tune in for the next one.